Welcome to Brocker's Forge, and today I'm going to show you how to play Terraforming Mars. In Terraforming Mars, you and up to 4 friends play as corporations that are, well, terraforming Mars. You buy and play cards describing different projects and do actions to raise the global parameters of Mars and increase your terraform rating. Making the planet more livable and increasing your corporation's wealth increases your terraform rating and earns you victory points. The player with the most victory points is the winner. Setup. Take out the game board and place it on the table. Place all of the ocean tiles on the board. Place the temperature and oxygen tokens at their starting positions and place the generation marker on the terraform rating track. Place all the resource cubes and remaining tiles next to the board. Take out the projects card and remove all the corporate error cards that have the red button with a white triangle. Give the first player marker to the player who most recently won a game of Terraforming Mars. If this is your first game, or if you want, choose randomly by any method you wish. Rolling a die, drawing straws, or choose based on whoever did the best at Space Camp. Players choose their player color, winners always choose green, and take the corresponding cubes and a player board from the box. Place 1 player cube from each player on the 20 of the terraform rating track. Each player places 1 cube of their color on the 1 spot of each production track. If this is your first game of Terraforming Mars, or if you're a wimp, take a beginner corporation card, 42 mega credits, and 10 project cards. Deal each other player, those who aren't wimps, 2 corporation cards and 10 project cards. Each player chooses 1 corporation, then starting with the first player continuing clockwise, each player reveals the corporation they chose, gets any starting resources and production stated on the corporation card, and pays 3 megabucks for each project card they want to keep. If they are using a beginner corporation, they can keep all 10 cards for no cost. Gameplay. Terraforming Mars is played in a series of rounds called generations. Each generation consists of 4 phases: player order, research, action, and production. During the first round of the game, skip the player order and research phases. Player order phase. The first player marker moves clockwise or counterclockwise, or choose a player order based on how tall each player is or whatever. Just be consistent. Research phase. Each player draws 4 cards and pays 3 mega credits for each card they want to keep, discarding the rest. If the draw pile ever empties, shuffle the discard pile. Action phase. This is the main phase of the game. Players in turn order choose 1 action, 2 actions, or pass. Once you pass, you cannot take any more actions this generation. You can only sit at the table and stare intensely at your opponents until they pass. As an action, you can play a card from your hand. Before you can play a card from your hand, you must be able to pay its costs in the top left of the card, and meet the requirements positioned to the right, and be able to perform the effects listed on the card. Except, you may play a card that raises global parameters that have already reached their max, adds resources you can't collect, or removes resources for any player if you are unable to or don't want to, since you're such a nice guy. After ensuring you are able to play the card, pay its cost and perform immediate effects listed on the bottom box of the card. If there is more than 1, they may be performed in any order. If your resource has a brown box around it, that increases or decreases your production values and must be performed. Resources with red borders can affect you or other players you choose, probably your arch enemies. The red background cards are event cards. They have one-time effects that are resolved and get placed face down in a pile in your play area. Their tags used to discount the price of cards are only in effect when being played. The green background cards are automated cards and are placed face up in a stack with only the top row visible. Like the event cards, they have no ongoing effects, but their tags do still apply to future cards. Finally, the blue background cards have ongoing effects that may trigger throughout the game, or actions that you can use. Keep the top panel visible that displays the available action or effect for future use. Use a standard project. There are 6 standard projects on the board. You can sell patents by discarding any number of cards from your hand to gain the same number of mega credits. Buy a power plant by spending 11 mega credits to increase your energy production by 1. You can crash an asteroid into the planet by spending 14 mega credits and increase the temperature, while also increasing your terraform rating. Develop an aquifer by spending 18 mega credits to place an ocean tile. You also get 1 terraform rating and collect any placement bonus. For 23 mega credits, place a greenery tile, increase the oxygen level and your terraform rating, and collect any placement bonus. One of your player markers on the tile. Build a city for 25 mega credits. Place a city tile on the board and put a player marker on it. Increase your mega credits production. Claim a milestone. If you meet the criteria, you can claim a milestone by spending 8 mega credits and placing your player marker on it. Only 3 milestones can be claimed during a game and can only be claimed by one person, since history only remembers who did things first. Each milestone is worth 5 victory points at the end of the game. The milestones available are Terraformer for having a terraform rating of at least 35, Mayor for owning at least 3 city tiles, Gardener for owning at least 3 greenery tiles, Builder for having at least 8 building tags in play, and Planner for having at least 16 cards in your hand. Fund an award. To fund an award, pay 8 mega credits. If you are the first player to fund an award, 14 mega credits if you're the second, or 20 if you're the third. Only 3 awards can be funded, and each award can only be funded once. The categories are Landlord for owning the most tiles in play, Banker for having the highest mega credit production, Scientist for having the most science tags in play, Thermalist for having the most heat resource cubes, Miner for having the most steel and titanium resource cubes. Funded awards will give victory points to the player who wins the category regardless of who funded it, 5 victory points for first place and 2 for second. If playing with 2 players, do not award points for second place. Using a blue card. Many blue cards have actions on them that can be used once per generation. This is indicated by a red arrow. To use an action, pay the cost on the left of the arrow and receive whatever is listed to the right of the arrow. Place a player marker on this action to know that it has been used for this generation. Convert plants. Remove 8 plant resources on your player board to place a greenery tile on the board. Everyone knows a forest is made up of exactly 8 plants. Increase the oxygen level and your terraform rating. Greenery tiles must be placed next to another one of your tiles if possible and may generate a placement bonus. Convert heat. Spend 8 heat resources on your player board to increase the temperature and also your terraform rating. Once all players have taken actions or passed, a new round is started, excluding those players who have passed until all players have passed. Finally, we move on to the production phase. Players should do this phase simultaneously to save time. Convert your energy to heat by moving all energy cubes to the heat box. Players receive mega credits by adding their terraform rating to their mega credit production. Generate resources according to your player board current production values. Remove player markers from used action cards so they may be used again next generation. Once all the global parameters, ocean, temperature, and oxygen have reached their goals, the game ends at the end of that generation. After the production phase, players have one last chance to convert plants into greenery tiles in play order. Then final scoring takes place. Final scoring. Each player's terraform rating is the base of their score. To your terraform rating, add awards. The leading player 5 victory points, the second place players 2 victory points for each funded category. If playing with 2 players, do not award points for second place. If tied, all players receive the victory points of that level. Add claimed milestones to players who claimed them for 5 victory points each. For each greenery tile on the game board with your player token, you get 1 victory point, and for each city tile with your player token on it, you receive 1 victory point for each greenery tile adjacent to the city tile, regardless of who owns the greenery tiles. Finally, count all of your victory points on your cards. Count victory points on all your played event cards and all other played cards in your area. Jovian cards may need to be counted separately. The player with the highest total score is the winner. If tied, the player with the most mega credits is the winner. If you want to play a longer game, add the corporate era cards to the deck and the 2 corporate era corporations. These cards focus more on building your corporation's economy than increasing the global parameters, which makes for a more challenging experience but takes a little longer. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and would like to see more, please hit the button and subscribe to our channel. If you have any suggestions for future game how-tos, please leave them in the comments. Click the bell to get a reminder whenever we post a new video, and we hope to see you next time in Brocker's Forge.